Hi you guys, the vegan twins here with a new recipe. We got a vegan gluten-free Nutella granola recipe. This is amazing, as you can tell by my spontaneous singing. This is so good. You guys are gonna love this. Here's a little clip. It looks so good. This is really easy and fast to put together. And Nutella, can we say more? As always, all the measurements are in the description with the recipe. And so just sit back, relax, enjoy the video. And if you could like the video and subscribe, we would love it and greatly appreciate it. It really helps us out. Okay, so first things first, we want to roast our hazelnuts. We're just going to throw that into an oven, a preheated oven, 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And after that is roasted, as you can see, we are putting that in a food processor or a high-speed blender just to blend everything until it becomes a hazelnut butter, which takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. And please, you guys, pretend that those nuts were roasted. I kind of did that for show because we forgot to roast our nuts, and it works out a lot better if you do roast them, but it's okay. It just goes to show it'll work even if you didn't, if you forgot. So every once in a while, just open it up, scrape down the sides to really incorporate it so it'll blend easier. Oh, and by the way, you don't have to remove the skins after you roast the nuts. You can if you want, but I find that's really a long process and a hassle, so I don't even bother. It's not really noticeable at all in here. Alright, so it's starting to come together, so we're going to preheat our oven to 325 degrees. Wasn't it at 300? We're going to leave it on 325. And we're going to line a baking tray with some parchment paper. And here you can see, hopefully you can see, it's starting to become a nut butter. So it takes time, but it'll happen, don't worry. After the nut butter is ready, we're going to add our other kind of fat, which is, for us, we're using coconut oil. You can use any kind of oil that is, you know, like a vegetable oil or something that doesn't have a strong flavor or aroma. And then we're going to throw in some pure vanilla extract. This just adds more flavor, and, you know, vanilla always helps. So now we're going to go on to sweeteners. First, we want to use a liquid sweetener. Here we are using agave just because it's what we have on hand, but you can use maple syrup or whatever you like. For our second kind of sweetener, we are going to add vegan brown sugar. Now, it's really important to have two different kinds of sweeteners, at least for us, because we find that the combination of the liquid and the brown sugar really makes this more amazing. It adds more depth of flavor, it adds more notes in there, and it kind of caramelizes it, especially with the brown sugar. And you just want to go ahead and pulse it or blend it until it is a wet mixture like this. Now we're going to pour all of the wet mixture into a big ol' salad bowl. That is what we are using because it'll keep a mess from happening, which is always good, especially for us because we always make a mess when we cook. So now we're gonna add some cocoa powder, and this is just to make sure that the Nutella starts to happen, really, you know. So we like to put this in here because we're also putting chocolate chips later, but we like to put the cocoa powder just so that it's gonna coat everything in the granola and really intensify that Nutella. Now we're going to go on to our dry mixture. First things first, we have the rolled oats. You just throw in some sea salt, and now it goes on to the nuts and seeds. Whatever you have on hand is best to use. So we threw in some flax seeds, some sunflower seeds, some beautiful pumpkin seeds. I love pumpkin seeds. And onto the nuts, we're going to put some almonds back into the food processor just to get them into little chunks so that they're not whole pieces. And now we're going to throw some hazelnuts and walnuts in there as well to make them little chunks And the reason we put almonds first and pulse that a few times is because it takes a lot longer to cut the almonds because it gets it's a harder nut. Yeah, so just pulse it until you're happy, until you get the size of pieces you want. We're gonna throw that back into the bowl. And we're gonna top it off with some vegan chocolate chips. My God, that looks beautiful. Whew, so good. Okay, so we're just going to, as you can see, fold everything in together with a spatula until it becomes completely coated. And please disregard the weaving and wobbin. That is because wobbin? Oh my God, bobbing and weaving. That's because I was filming this with one hand at the time. Bobbin and weaving, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna throw this all, we're gonna dump this all, really dumping it onto the tray. And the secret here to make sure that your granola is like in clumps and chunks is to really compress it. So we're using a spatula, the same one we were using, and we're just gonna flatten it really nice and tight and hard and other adjectives to make sure it comes out really clumpy and chunky. Trust me, it tastes a lot better than those words sounded. This is my first voiceover, if you can't tell. So I hope I'm not talking too much and being weird, but you know. Alright, we're throwing that in the oven, and we're gonna let that cook for 10 minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes. That's my gold spot right there, because we find that any time over that and the bottom starts to burn, and any time less than that and your granola won't really be crunchy, it'll be too like flexible, it'll be too soft. And we're gonna take that out after 10 minutes and flip it over as best we can. It doesn't not have to be perfect, as you can tell, it's not. But yeah, we just want to flip it over to get the other side toasted. And as you can see here, the chocolate has really mixed in now because it's melted. If you don't want that, you can put the chocolate chips at the end after it's completely cooked and just sprinkle them on top. But we like this because then we find that what happens is every bite you have a lot of chocolate flavor. You have it from the cocoa powder and the chocolate chips. And we're just gonna put that for another 10 minutes. Please ignore that I said 9. It did need an extra minute. I could have used it. And it's done, you guys. Thank you for coming on this journey. Look at this, it's beautiful. It's still hot right now, so we want it to cool down, but look at that chocolate. Whew. And it smelled, at this point, amazing. It smelled like Nutella in the whole house. I really can't wait for you guys. We really can't wait for you guys to try this recipe. This one is awesome and it's delicious and it's full of seeds and nuts and all kinds of good stuff, and we usually like to have this as a dessert because it's so decadent, but you know, have it for breakfast, who cares? And we just put all of that into a mason jar and store that in the fridge for like a couple weeks at least. I mean, I don't know exactly because it really only stays for a few days for us, but for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we absolutely loved it. We loved making this one, and we love you guys. Thank you for all your support. And if you have any questions, please leave a question down in the comment section. We will answer it for you. And yeah, so if you guys enjoy our videos, please like and subscribe. We really love it. Join our team. So that was our vegan journey of the day.